Hey everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video I am going to show you how to make a large style hair scrunchie. This fabric is so pretty as well. I can't remember where I got it from either, which is really annoying because I am running low on it, so I'm going to have to find some receipts and see if I can find this fabric on it. But yeah, it's so pretty. You just look at it. The video that I've done today is in real time. I've not actually sped anything up, so I hope you enjoy it, and remember to like and subscribe. Okay, so let's get into it. So this is just what we're going to be using today. Obviously the sewing machine, tape measure, some thread scissors, a little clip, some glue. This isn't the glue that I'd normally use, but I can't for the life of me find my fabric glue, so we'll just have to do for today. Some fabric. This is already cut into size, and this is the finished product of what we're going to be making today. So I am going to use the burrito method to make this scrunchie. There are other methods to make scrunchies, but this is just the one that I use for my bigger scrunchies. So you're going to start by getting your fabric and you're going to fold it lengthways. Then you're going to put right sides together, and what you're going to do is sew along that edge, leaving a tiny seam allowance. Make sure as well that you backstitch both ends just to secure it, because the last thing you want is, whilst you're sewing the rest of the scrunchie, is that edge to come undone. So that's the sides sewn together. So I'm just going to trim away any excess thread, because the last thing you want is, whilst you're sewing, is to have extra bits of thread getting in the way. And then I'm just going to chop any excess off the sides as well. So I found this bit really difficult to explain. I'm not very good at explaining things, as you'll see in this video, so don't come at me, please. So yeah, I'm going to put the fabric flat in front of me, making sure the two right sides are still on the inside, if that makes sense. And then I'm just going to take the top layer of fabric and sort of like roll it into a little tube, and pop that in the middle and make that as tight as I can. And then the outer layers of fabric, I'm sort of going to overlap over the top of that roll. And the outer layer of the bits I'm going to start sewing together. So what I'm going to do is pop that into the sewing machine ready to be sewn, start sewing, and remember to do a back stitch as well, just again so it doesn't all come undone. So we're just going to start sewing along, making sure that little roll in the middle is pushed in so you don't sew over it. So as you come to like the end of this section, you can just see there that I am just using my fingers to pull out the inner roll of fabric and move along. This is just going to give you some more of the outside fabric to sew together. So you're going to continue doing that, continue pulling the little roll out from the middle and pulling it down as far as you can, and then sewing the outer fabric. And this is going to create like a burrito method. So keep doing this and just be really, really careful keep checking that the inner roll is as far in as possible and you're not sewing over the inner roll, because you won't be able to turn it the right way up. You'll have to unpick it all and it'll just, yeah, we've all done it. We've all been there. So carry on doing this until you start to see the first stitches that you made. And once you get to that point, make sure you leave a few centimetres gap, because what this gap is you use it to turn your scrunchie the right way up, which I will show you now. So that, there you go, that's like your scrunchie tube. So I'm going to turn it the right way up in a second. And there we go. So I'm just getting rid of any loose thread again. And I'm just putting a clip there because I always lose the gap and I always spend ages trying to find the gap that I've just made. So now I'm just going to cut my elastic. So this is the elastic I'm going to use to thread in my scrunchie in a second. I think it's about 8 inches long, this piece of elastic. Just gonna double check. Sorry again, it's not the best angle. I don't really have a very good prop to do this. I'm just using what I've got, but yeah, it's 8 inches, and then I'm going to cut the elastic. And the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get my safety pin and pop the elastic on the safety pin carefully without hurting myself, and through that gap I'm just going to thread the elastic through, being really, really careful not to let the elastic go with my hand. So I'm just going to thread it all the way around until I get to the gap again. And then once I've got to the gap, I'm just going to secure the elastic with a knot. So all I'm doing now is I am going to get my labels. I've actually made these myself. I thought they were really cute. You don't have to put a label in. This is just what I do. I just think it finishes off the scrunchie, and it's adding the brand to your scrunchie as well. So this is where the glue comes in handy. Again, you don't have to do this. I've just found it's a bit easier. So the label I've folded in half, and I'm just gluing the insides together just to secure it more than anything, so it's not flying all over the place. And then what I'm going to do as well, I'm going to pop a little bit of the fabric glue in the gap that I've made where the label's going to sit. This again is just to add a bit more secure to the label, and it just makes it that little bit easier for me to sew. I will obviously clip it in place as well, but I've just found it stops it from moving about as much, because it's quite tricky trying to sew a little label into a little gap. So yeah, I'm just checking front and back are both the same, because the amount of times I've sewn the edges together with the label and I've only ended up sewing one side, so I've had to go back in, unpick it all, and yeah, make sure that both sides have been sewn together. It's very annoying, but it is what it is. So yeah, I'm just making sure the label's all straight and in place, ready to be sewn. And then I'm going to close that gap as well whilst we're doing this. And yeah. So there we go, all stitched. I'm just checking the front and back to check that both sides have been stitched together and the label's secure. And then I'm just going in with my little thread scissors again and I'm just chopping away any loose thread. And then what I'll do now is I'll go around the whole scrunchie and make sure that there's no little loose bits of thread sticking out. And if there is, we just chop them off and get rid of them. We don't need them. And then the best bit, fluffing it all up. So once I've gone around it all and got rid of any little pieces that shouldn't be there, I'm going to start going around the scrunchie and basically just fluffing it all up. And then that's when it starts to take its shape. I'll pop it on my wrist as well. I find if I pop it on my wrist, it's a bit easier to fluff up. But yeah, I'll still check that there's no loose threads or anything like that. And yeah, give it a bit of a spin, a bit of a pull. Check it's all secure. And yeah, I think that's such a pretty fabric. I really need to find out where it's from. I'm sure it's Abercon or somewhere. I need to get some more. But yeah, there we go. All finished.